Hello and welcome. It is day 3 of the 5-day MINDTRX challenge. This is Pete from MINDTRX, and yes, we're going to be announcing today's winner for the 1-year subscription to MINDTRX. But first, let's welcome today's guest co-host, the super best-selling author, the miracle-making queen of happiness, Marci Shimoff. Hello, Marci. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Pete. It's so fabulous to get to be here with you and with everybody. I'm really excited. I hear that many people are making such great progress towards their goals. And I love paraliminals. I've been a paraliminal person from the get-go, and I think they're fabulous. And I just really, what I've experienced is that people have had dramatic shifts from the simple and profound technology of paraliminals. And so I really am thrilled that people are here. I really encourage everyone to be part of today and to listen with intention during this MINDTRX challenge. And let us know how it's going for you. How are you feeling with it? What's happening? We have a lot of people sharing and lots of cool things we're going to share today.
Yeah. So Marci, you created the Happy for No Reason Paraliminal with Paul Scheele, and it was based on your best-selling book, Happy for No Reason, and then also the Happy for No Reason personal learning course that you created with us at Learning Strategies. So what do you remember about creating the paraliminal with Paul? And then do you remember what it was like the first time you actually used that paraliminal?
Well, I have to say I was, I'd heard of the paraliminals for a while when I started working on the one with Paul, and I was very blown away. To me, the whole brain thing and how the brain works and how we can easily sort of bypass the conscious brain and go deeply into have the paraliminal affect us so deeply without effort. That's my thing. I love with ease. That's like, I love the idea of with ease. So when Paul and I were working on the Happy for No Reason Paraliminal, it was really fun because he got to, do his version of the happy piece. And I certainly got to play my version. And it was just a blast to go do it in the studio. And I remember the very first comment I ever got from someone that had been listening to the paraliminal was that they had been really kind of not very happy. They had really, and they thought, listening to this thing, what's it really going to do? And I think they'd listened for like maybe a week or a week and a half. And they started waking up. They would listen before they were going to sleep, and they would wake up in the morning, and they found themselves, like after about a week of doing this, happy. And they were like, come on, it can't be that easy. And and it is.
Yeah. Hey, Marci, when you did that paraliminal, were you and Paul together in the studio, or were you in separate studios?
We were together in the studio, and Paul's a trip. He's always so much fun. And it was a while ago. I can't remember where we were. I just remember being there with him, and it just was a blast to get to play in this way,
Yeah. It's fun to do those paraliminals and to watch the mentors when they're doing a paraliminal with Paul, because there's that play with it, and to allow everything just to happen. And you can feel it, you can hear it actually when you listen to your paraliminal. You can hear that you were in the beautiful space of the paraliminal. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Now I'm remembering, Pete, actually, I believe that I flew to you guys, and it was in the winter. And I remember thinking, why the heck do you guys live in Minnesota? I'm from California. So I remember thinking, okay, this is definitely a labor of love here, because I have just given away, come into the cold tundra of Minneapolis. So
Yeah. Well, we're glad you did. When we released your paraliminal, we released several of them at the same time. We also did Jack Canfield's Living the Law of Attraction, and the subtitle being Consistently Attract the Good, Positive, and Extraordinary. We did Lisa Nichols' You Deserve It, Gratefully Receive Life's Abundant Gifts. And then also Brian Tracy, Focus and Concentration, Accomplish More with Less Time and with Focal Point Thinking. That was a real power pack of paraliminals.
I tell you, Pete, you guys, you're going for the superstars of the personal growth, the transformational industry. I mean, Jack, who I adore, Jack has been my mentor. I actually took a training from him in 1989. And that's how I ended up getting to do the Chicken Soup for the Soul books with Jack. And his work, obviously he is just a pro on living the law of attraction. I mean, that's what I've kind of witnessed him like really create an extraordinary life. I mean, when I met Jack, nobody knew who he was. He was, nobody, I met him because I was taking a self-esteem training with him, but Chicken Soup for the Soul hadn't ever come out. I hadn't even been conceived of. That was about 4 years before Chicken Soup for the Soul came out. And, he has certainly done his share of manifesting. And so he deserves to speak about living the law of attraction. And then Lisa Nichols, one of my soul sisters on the planet, and about how, she is all about deserving and receiving life's abundant gifts. I mean, that's Lisa. She also has her own amazing story of the rags to riches story. And then Brian Tracy, Brian Tracy, he was like one of the only people in the transformational industry when I first started getting into this in the early 80s. So he's kind of a hero. So you know how to go to the top.
Yeah, well, we have great people who love they love using the paraliminals, and they love creating them. So, you mentioned Jack. You know how we first met, how he first came in contact with learning strategies?
I do not. Well, no, I know he was talking about photo reading when I met him, or early on.
Yeah.
But through photo reading?
It wasn't photo reading. It was actually our self-esteem supercharger paraliminal. So he saw an ad that we were running. I think it was in Body, Mind, and Spirit. It was a national magazine at the time. And he bought it because his company, Self-Esteem Seminars, he was really into self-esteem. So he bought the paraliminal to see what it was about. And then he never turned back.
That's a great story. What I love about that, people are, I hope it's okay that we say this. So Jack I think he's 78. And I have never seen anyone be such a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
So when you say, he was the king of self-esteem, that's when I went to go train with him, he was the self-esteem guy. But so the fact that he found your self-esteem paraliminal and learned it, he is just constantly learning. And, that's the thing about what we know, the people we know in that are really, I think, the most, the most awake, happy, successful, enlightened, thriving are those who just keep on being open to learning, the lifelong learners, which everybody who's here today, you're one of those because you're doing this,
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Marci, you do wonder, or you do know why our company name is Learning Strategies.
Yes.
Yeah, because it is all about lifelong learning, and it's about learning strategies with your deep non-conscious mind to make your life easier. So, and that's one of the reasons that we're here today, is because we have the MINDTRX challenge, and we all do want to get more from life. We want to live with happiness, great health, abundance, wisdom, and the paraliminals, when you're using them, they're going to help you. So it's like, Marci, when the Happy from the Reason CD came out, it came with the 20-page guidebook. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, and all that information isn't lost now because we put that in the app. So if you go into the player for the paraliminal you want to listen to, you're going to see bubbles, and the bubbles will say things like before listening, or how it works, best ways to use, possibilities for going beyond, and the other one is inside secrets. So that's all that information. So if you want to go deeper in understanding what the paraliminals are, you can do that by just reading on the app. Plus, Paul created a video coaching session for each of the paraliminals so that you can go deeper with them. But the beautiful thing, like you said, Marci, is that it's all about how do you make it so easy. So you don't have to read any of that stuff. You don't have to watch the coaching videos. All you got to do is listen to the paraliminal. You put it on, and then that's when the magic happens. Don't worry about paying attention to it. Don't worry about understanding the metaphors that are going on as you're listening to it. Just let your mind drift between the voices. You can even fall asleep. And we've made them as easy as possible so you can get the most benefit from it. So, and as you listen today, and as you've been listening all week and will the rest of the week, be sure to share with us what's happening. So what progress are you noticing toward your goal or your intention? Do you feel motivated, inspired? Are synchronicities happening? That's one of the big things that show up all the time. And what about, do you have less stress? Are you feeling happier? So let us know on the MINDTRX Facebook page, And then also in the special web page that we have set up, we put links in the reminder email that you received this morning. So follow those links and let us know what's going on. And then every day we randomly select someone to win a 1-year subscription. So let us know what you're doing, and you might just win a 1-year subscription to MINDTRX. So Marci, shall we read some of those stories?
Yeah, let's read some of those. But Pete, as you were speaking about how easy these the paraliminals are to use, I just want to share a quick story about years ago, I was doing a speaking tour with Hay House. And Louise Hay is the founder of Hay House. She wrote You Can Heal Your Life. And I love Louise Hay's work. And we were backstage in the green room. And she looked at me and she said, am I supposed to listen to those with headphones? Because I was listening and I was trying to hear one voice. I was trying to hear the other voice. I was kind of it was all scrambled and I didn't understand. I said, Louise, you listen with headphones and you don't mind what's being said. You just let it go. And she goes, oh my God, that's so easy. I don't have to work at this. I said, yes, that's it. And I came back the next day because it was a tour. And she said, I listened and I loved it. So I think
That's
the
great.
instructions are easy, but they're important.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that story before. So thank you for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we are not a culture of ease. We did not grow up thinking that things can shift in a way that's filled with ease. And, our minds, the conscious mind is a hard one to deal with. We've got so much going on in the conscious mind. It's the subconscious mind. When the paraliminals get through to that in a way that really can create deep change, it's I think way more powerful and way easier. So, all right, let me pull up, Pete, some of these comments that we've gotten from people in the MINDTRX challenge. So Tammy wrote, I love the ideal weight paraliminal. It's not only has helped me stay focused and positive, it's greatly improved my sleep at night. Awesome, Tammy. That's great. And what I find is that to do the paraliminal right before you go to sleep is just, that's really, it sets you in that great mode for sleep. Daphne wrote, I did the paraliminal of the day, self-discipline. I think I've been avoiding that one. I understand that. I'm so glad that I went for it. Good for you, Daphne. Paul comes from such a different perspective than I've thought of before. I think it'll now become one of my favorites. That's great. Barbara wrote, I started my day off with the 10-minute supercharger, and it gave me the extra boost that I needed. So that's another great way, is to start the day off. The two most important times of the day are the time right after we wake up and the time right before we go to sleep, because those are what set the tone for the day. And what I see a lot of people doing, and my husband was doing for a while, that I had to really encourage him not to do, and that is to listen to the news first thing in the morning or last thing at night. That's kind of like the last thing that you want to do, especially these days. You really want to start your day off on the right foot, because there's the saying, well begun is half done. When you start off with a paraliminal, it sets the energy for the rest of the day. And when you end the day with a paraliminal or with something more positive, it sets the energy for your sleep. It's interesting because in the happiness research, they found that your happiness today is more dependent upon the quality of sleep that you got last night than it is on your marital status or your income. We think, oh, if only I had more money, I'd be happier. Actually, if only you had a better night's sleep, you would be happier. So end the day with a paraliminal and see what happens. So that's a little tip. Here's a few more. Kevin wrote in, earlier this year, I felt mildly depressed and anxious. I was ready to go to the doctor, but then I came across the challenge last spring. I listened to the paraliminal of the day every day and I felt better. I decided I should subscribe so I could keep it going. And since then, I've listened to the paraliminal of the day nearly every day. And I can't remember the last time I've felt this good. This has been my best summer. Kevin, bravo to you, because
Exactly.
I mean, come on, what do we all want happiness more than anything in the world. And today, in these days, we have a lot of anxiety and depression, and something this powerful, Kevin, that congratulations, kudos. And then Jean wrote in, I started with self-love. That's the one that's dear to my heart. And then later gratitude, which just seems to be key to everything good. I felt high all day with no external helpers, just from the inside. A perfectly lovely day. And Jean, if you were to ask me what are the kind of really keys to happiness, I'd say you just listed two of them: gratitude and self-love. Those are the fast tracks. So good job, Jean.
Fantastic. I'll read some now too. Susan wrote, I am 61 years old, a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I work full-time as a respiratory therapist, and I'm finishing a digital marketing science course. I have 3 certification exams I need to pass in the next 10 days. I'm busy, a little stressed, and I have to pull some overtime at work. These paraliminals are making a difference for me. The 10-minute supercharge and the self-discipline are my favorite so far. I'm excited to listen more this morning to gain focus. Excellent. Michelle wrote, my main goal is to address some limiting beliefs I know that are holding me back from life, from the life I dream of having. I tried gratitude paraliminal, and wow, my whole being felt lighter and happier, less weighted, awesome. And be sure to use the belief paraliminal series, the 2 paraliminals with that, because that's absolutely superb for beliefs. And Veronica, she wrote, my goal is related to money, abundance. So I listened to the abundant money mindset, and it was so calming. I realized that I have some limiting beliefs. That goes back to beliefs again. I want to be using the belief paraliminal. And Anna wrote, feeling great. I listened to the wealth motivator, staying wealthy. Thank you, Paul Shilley. Getting ready to go to my studio and create something new. Artist working. And Tom wrote, I've had issues at work with my team. It's like we're on different planets. I listened to active listening on Monday, and yesterday's team meeting was a huge shift. I was so productive. It's interesting how my using active listening had an effect on the group.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, that's the thing, is we aren't doing this just for ourselves. We don't live in a bubble. The research really shows that when we shift, the people around us shift. I had one woman gave me, was in one of my programs, and she said her 16-year-old daughter, and they were driving together one day, and her daughter said to her, Mom, what are you doing? You're doing something different. She didn't tell her family that she was doing, part of this program.
Yeah.
And her mom said, what do you mean? She said, you're different. The last week or 2, you've been really different. Whatever it is, we like it. And her mom told her what she was doing, and she and the daughter joined as well. The research shows, Pete, that that our happiness affects people, at least 5 people out. So
really, 5 people out.
Feeling better. Yes. So here's what it shows. If you start feeling better, it affects your neighbors, cousins, daughters, school teacher. You think about five people, at least 5 people out. And so it's, it's pretty powerful. So what I really love what you had just read, because, he said that it was affecting his whole team. And I would encourage people to take a look at, how is my doing this? Maybe you don't even tell people what you're doing, or you can do it all together as a family. But how is it, what do I notice shifts in my family or in my coworkers as a result of my doing the working with the paraliminals?
Yeah. So, you mentioned affecting the 5 people. Chenny Lin, Spring Force Qigong, he says that when you do a practice such as Spring Force Qigong and you're raising your own frequency, your own vibration, you're actually affecting 1,000 people that are around you. So in the space that's around you. And because the energy just goes out, and your energy field interacts with everybody else's energy field. So it's so interesting, isn't it?
It is. There are actually a number of research studies done that show that when a group of people meditate together, that collectively, it's the collective consciousness of people doing things together is even exponential, and that it affects the whole the crime rate in the city. If they're doing the experiment in a city, the crime rate, the health of people, crime rate goes down, health goes up, economy changes in the city. So we really impact, when you say that one person can impact doing Qigong 1,000 people, that's so true. And I find that, like, the challenge that we're doing is that there are collective numbers of people doing this together during this.
Yes.
And the collective energy this week of this has an impact. And, people, I mean, we're in challenging times for sure right now. And I think that, that people wonder, what can I do to contribute? And one of the things we can do to contribute is we contribute through our consciousness. We contribute through the shifts that we're making internally. Certainly that's not everything, but it's not to be discounted. And the power of this group coming together and doing this together this week is pretty powerful. And it doesn't matter that we're all in different time zones and doing it at our different times of day. It's still a collective intention. What do you think?
And at every single moment, there are multiple people in the app listening to Paraliminals. So we get to see it on the dashboard, how many people are listening, and it's amazing. So whenever you're listening, you're not alone. And even before you even push that play button, you can, think to yourself that, okay, I'm doing this work for me and I'm doing it with other people at the same time. And that's kind of powerful because you're not alone in what you're doing here. A lot of people are doing it with you.
Yeah. And you can also have an energy of a dedication as well. I'm doing it here, I'm doing it with other people, and I'm also doing it in service of the greater good, whether it be for your family or for your community or for the world,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's a great motivation for that helps me, because I feel, I feel like I want to contribute the best I can. And I think raising our own consciousness or raising our own specific, getting over our limiting beliefs around money, that's big. You read that one just a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with limiting. I mean, I don't know anybody that didn't grow up with limiting beliefs around money. I call them your BS, your belief saboteurs. And this is about really, we are here. If you're listening to this, you're here because you're here to break some old patterns. Maybe they were family patterns. Maybe they were ancestral patterns. So you be the one to break those belief saboteurs. And, that flows forward to your family as well. So,
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up a couple more of these and
Sure.
read some of these. I think it's Pius wrote, I used miracle mindset. It's great. Pius, miracles is one of my favorite things. And he said, I've done this twice before bed, focusing on the take action skill. It keeps a subtle impression dripping into the conscious mind during the next day when I'm doing things. Feels easier to act than just to think to act. Fabulous. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Elizabeth wrote, my main goal for myself this week is to believe in myself as a successful businesswoman. Oh my God. Believing in ourselves, man. And I'll say this. I find that often it's harder for women to believe in themselves. So let me keep on reading what Elizabeth wrote. I listened to the belief Paraliminals and I received inspiration where I was stuck with the book that I'm currently writing. Fantastic. Elizabeth, I will tell you, I know that feeling of being stuck in writing. I've written 9 books, and the thing that becomes our deepest challenge are those old beliefs of, I can't believe, I can't do this. This isn't any good. The judger, evaluator, those old beliefs of I'm, I can't do this. And I can tell you, that was the hardest thing that I worked with when I was writing my books. And the fact that you have the wisdom to work with the belief paraliminal, fabulous. And I would just say also to really honor, Elizabeth, what it is you are good at, what it is notice. We're so quick to notice the things that are wrong. Our brains, they say we have an average of 60,000 thoughts a day. And for the average person, 80% of those are negative. It's called the negativity bias. We inherited this from our caveman ancestors. And what we really want to do is shift that so that our thoughts are not those negative automatic thoughts and limiting beliefs. And so you go with the paraliminals. And Elizabeth, I'm going to add in one extra thing for you. And that is start noticing what are the things that you are great at. It's easy to notice what you might feel deficient in or where you might have a writing block. But notice, I'm really good at connecting with people. I'm really good. What I would challenge you, Elizabeth, is to every day for the next week, write down 3 things that you actually acknowledge yourself for. What are 3, and it's hard, and don't repeat yourself from one day to the next. So I acknowledge myself for having a generous heart. I acknowledge myself for really being authentic. I acknowledge myself for being fun, liking to have fun. And, so those are just 3 that I would acknowledge myself for, because easily I could say, well, I'm not the best writer on the planet. And that doesn't serve. So I'm going to just bring in what I acknowledge myself for. Pete, I'm going to just ask you, come on, play the game. What do you acknowledge yourself for?
Oh, I acknowledge myself for being able to connect with wonderful people like you and bring you to other people. I acknowledge myself for I'm a good cook, for being a good cook and being able to have nice feasts for a lot of people. And so I can go on. And every day, I have a labyrinth out in the back. And every day I walk in, on the walk out, I do the acknowledgements and I do the gratitudes. And so it is a practice that I do every day. And I completely encourage everybody to do it, just like you.
Yeah, that's great. Truly every day, acknowledgements and gratitude. So, okay. Let me read a couple more here. We've got Cindy, who wrote, my main goal is to listen to at least 1 paraliminal a day. I've been listening to many different paraliminals relating to perfect health, weight loss, abundance, intuition, creativity, and I'm enjoying them. And Pete, I got to tell you, you have more. You cover every topic there is possible to be covered. How many different ones are there?
There are 60 individual titles. And we have a list of 150 that we're going to be creating. So everything will truly be covered.
It's right.
And the cool thing is you take something like the new behavior generator, you can use the new behavior generator for thousands of things, not just one thing. All of them have so much flexibility. So even when you listen to the joy paraliminal, what's your intention coming into the joy paraliminal, that can play into any goal that you have. So it's really cool how you don't have to choose which paraliminal, just pick a paraliminal, just randomly or intuitively draw one, and that will support your goals and your intentions. It's impossible for them not to.
Yeah. And pick happy for no reason.
Yes.
That one, because that's a really good one. All right, here we go. Musco wrote, my intention is to release the anxiety. I was pleasantly amazed and overjoyed that after doing the anxiety-free sessions A and B, I am anxiety-free. Amazing. I'm so looking forward to what other amazing shifts can take place. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then Karina wrote, my main goal is to feel better about myself. So far, I've been listening to fearlessness, overcoming overwhelm, great, fresh start, and no matter what. Lisa Nichols.
Yep.
My biggest insight is that the inner voices of negativity are a subconscious bad habit. That is exactly right, Karina. I really can be my own cheerleader. Karina, that is so right. My friend, Rick Hansen, who's also a happiness guy, he talks about, I love looking at it this way, that our minds are like Velcro for the negative. The negatives just stick to us. But they're like Teflon for the positives. The positives slide off of us. That's that negativity bias I talked about earlier. Happier people reverse that tendency. so that their minds become Velcro for the positives and Teflon for the negatives. The positives stick to us and the negatives slide off. So I'm going to give you a little quick tip right here. The negatives, the researchers have found that it takes at least 20 seconds for a positive to register deeply enough that it becomes a new brain activity, new neural pathway in the brain. It takes much longer for a positive to register than for a negative because we have that negativity bias. So what you want to do is when you acknowledge something, when you have gratitude for something, when you acknowledge something about yourself or you become your own best cheerleader, you want to savor the good for at least 20 seconds so that it lands and becomes a new neural pathway in the brain. And the beautiful thing about the paraliminals are that you're immersing yourself. It's like a bath in it for way more than 20 seconds. And that's what helps it become a whole new brain state.
Exactly. So I have some stories here. I love this one. This one's fun. Brandon wrote, I'm an introvert, and sometimes I feel invisible. I listened to the instantaneous personal magnetism and then went grocery shopping. People were smiling at me. Someone even came up to me to talk. It was just about vegetables, but still. Bree wrote, I listened to the abundant money mindset. I want to open myself to receive the abundance from the universe. My goal is to receive $100 this week. I totally love the paraliminal. Thank you for making this life-changing challenge. Ken wrote, my goal is to kill procrastination and be focused on business as well as to prepare for an upcoming exam. I used focus and concentration with personal genius today. I felt relieved and I was led to create a timetable for myself. Excellent. Take action. And then, one thing to create the timetable. Now you have to also follow through on it, right, Marci?
Follow through.
Yep. Al Greenpath wrote, today I want to focus on creating engaging content for my startup in a fun and easy way. I will listen to Creativity Supercharger. Soph wrote, the paraliminals allow me to rest, reflect, and recharge. They give me a deeper sense of flow and purpose.
Great. Pete, I love these. They're so different,
They really are.
The results that people get, they're really personalized to what it is your need is, what it is that's needing to be addressed for you. We kind of have our own individual curriculum, I think, in life. And so these show up. Let me read some of these.
Yeah.
A couple more here. Darius wrote, to increase my income, I'm listening to all the abundance paraliminals. That's excellent. Al wrote, I listened to Dream Play Session A. The calm and soothing voice allowed me to slowly relax into a nap. I learned that dreams are made to be there during my subconscious mind in my sleep, no matter how long it is. After waking up from a short nap, I felt refreshed. Hopefully my dreams will be remembered and recalled more and more in the coming days and weeks to come. Well, I didn't know about Dream Play Session, so I'm going to try that one out. That's cool. That's cool. Paula wrote, I used sleep deeply and I slept great. That is so many people complain of challenging sleep, being challenged in sleep. So I really, as I said earlier, the quality of sleep that you got last night is more important for your happiness than many other factors. So, okay. Beryl wrote, today I was drawn to fearlessness and I first thought, why? But then I listened to session B this morning and wow, I feel so much lighter and was even able to smile while paying a large bill out of my diminishing bank account. And I still feel relieved and happy. I love paraliminals. Oh, that's great. And then Ryan wrote, my goal is to remove abundance blocks. I chose the soul of money paraliminal. Oh, that's with my dear friend, our dear friend, Lynn Twist. That's fantastic because I tried it out before and it just made me feel better around the idea of money. I'm going to try prosperity paraliminal next. I'm really enjoying the MINDTRX app.
I love these stories, Marci. I could read them all day. But we got other things we got to be talking about here,
okay,
so we can all get on with our days. What paraliminal are you going to be listening to this today? What do you want to let go of, or what do you want to accomplish? So all you have to do is scan through the list of paraliminals in the app and select the ones that interest you the most. And the paraliminal that might just help you with your challenge, and then share with us what you are noticing. You might just win a 1-year subscription to MINDTRX. So Marci, earlier this morning, I used a random number generator from the internet, and I randomly selected today's winner. And you want to announce the winner?
I would love to announce the winner, but I want to know, did they listen to, is there a paraliminal for I'm going to win a contest? Paraliminal?
There isn't, but perhaps there should be.
That's add it to the new one. Instead of 150, now you got 151. All right, drum roll for our winner. Here we go. I am delighted, thrilled, happy to announce that Jacqueline Gibbons won a 1-year subscription to the MINDTRX.
Yay, Jacqueline! Yes.
Congratulations, Jacqueline.
So to claim your award, send an email to customerservice@mindtrx.com and we'll get you set up. Again, that's customerservice@mindtrx.com. And if you're enjoying the MINDTRX with the paraliminals, we hope that you're going to upgrade your subscription to our Ultimate U annual plan, which gets you continual access to everything that's in the app. It's a great tool to help you live the best life. And just use the link in the daily reminder emails to subscribe. So remember, the MINDTRX challenge ends on Saturday, 9 o'clock Central Time, Saturday morning. That's when the paraliminals will lock up. So if you want to continue using them, please subscribe today. And if you use that link that's in your reminder email, you'll receive a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means if you change your mind, you can easily get a refund. And I would appreciate too if you would upgrade this week, because when Apple and Google, they see a lot of people subscribing at the same time, they then will recommend paraliminal to other app users, and that's huge. So help us capitalize on the success of the MINDTRX challenge and help spread the word. We very, very, very much appreciate that. And if you love the app, $99. It's cheap for an app that's as robust as MINDTRX, and it's only pennies a day. So if you go to the Learning Strategies website and you see all the programs that are in the MINDTRX app, the cost for them is $2,795, $2,700, $2,800. But because of the technology, we can make all of this available in the app at such a reasonable price. Plus, we don't have to warehouse CDs and ship them out anymore. It's so much more accessible for everybody. So Marci, since this is the MINDTRX challenge, should we create a challenge on happiness?
Oh, absolutely, Pete. It's a great idea. So how should we do it? What do you think we should do?
Okay, this is it. Okay, so everyone, listen to Marci's Happy for No Reason paraliminal, and then write a comment in the MINDTRX Facebook page or on that specialized forum. Again, the links are in the reminder email that you received this morning. And then tomorrow we'll have a drawing for everyone who left a comment about using Happy for No Reason. And then the winner receive your Happy for No Reason course, Marci. It's a full personal learning course with teaching sessions and the Happy for No Reason paraliminal. And this course normally sells for $248, but someone will win it tomorrow. So just listen to Happy for No Reason and share what you experienced. And we're also going to give out another 1-year subscription too for MINDTRX. So listen to 2 paraliminals today, Happy for No Reason and the other one that you were thinking about using for your goal, and tell us about your experiences with each. We'd love to hear. We love reading the stories, and we love giving away Marci's course, and so that you can use it, and then someone's going to get the 1-year subscription too.
So play along, because I tell you, happiness, it's the thing that people want more than anything.
Yeah.
We think we want this or we want that. We want those things in order to be happy. But what happy for no reason is finding an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on your circumstances. And when you have that, everything else works. Your health is better. Happier people, they found, make more than $1 million more than everybody else over the course of their lifetime. And, your relationships are better. So I really encourage you to listen to that Happy for No Reason paraliminal and let us know, how are you feeling?
Exactly. And Marci, I want to take a minute to talk about the Your Year of Miracles program. It's an amazing year-long program that you've been doing for a number of years now, and tens of thousands of people have participated in it. And, the other thing too is I heard that, and tell me if this is right, that over 500,000 people have attended your opening webinar already?
563,000, but who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about it, but also what we'll do is that when your opening webinar comes up, we'll send an email to everybody to remind you. So you don't have to worry about it right now. Just put it in your mind so that when the email comes out, you can go to the opening webinar to experience the first part of the training. So Marci, tell us a little bit about the training.
Well, it was born out of the fact that I realized years ago, I was waking up every morning going, oh my God, my life is miraculous. I would need an answer to a question, and exactly the answer, the email would come with that. I'd need a certain amount of money and a check would come in the mail, or the right person would show up out of nowhere, and synchronicities and flow were happening. And I realized there's a way to get there. So we created this program called Your Year of Miracles. It's a year-long journey about how to live in the miracle zone, in that place of flow and miracles in every area of your life, money and relationships and health. And we've been doing it now for 10 years. And the miracles that people are having are phenomenal. We have so many, and it's that collective energy. We have thousands and thousands of people collecting together to intention each other's miracles, and to do some specific things to put yourself in that flow of miracles. And I get blown away every day by the stories that I hear of people, finally meeting their soulmate, or finally, having things happen that they've been wanting to happen for years. So
sweet.
I love getting to do it.
Yeah. Marci, when does the first webinar come out?
Just after Christmas. Just during.
Great. Yeah. So as we get close to that, we'll send you an email so that you can participate in it. Now, get to using your paraliminals, especially the happy for no reason. It's going to help you achieve any goal that you have. I'm going to be listening to it myself today. I kind of get excited about this. So, and do come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's guest host will be Patty Aubrey, who's a best-selling author of 10 Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And she's known as the billion-dollar brand builder, being the brand builder of the Chicken Soup for the Soul Enterprises and the president of the Canfield Training Group. She's going to join us tomorrow to empower you to realize your full potential. Marci, I know you know Patty. You know her very, very well. So why should someone tune in? Why should someone listen to Patty?
Not only have I know Patty, I've known her since she was 19 years old. She is brilliant. She is just so filled with brilliant business ideas and great creativity. She is a possibility thinker, and I love getting to listen to all of her wisdom and her tidbits and her brilliance. And I know it's going to be a great time tomorrow.
Fantastic. So Marci, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your energy and your happiness and all of that with everybody. Appreciate that a whole lot.
Great to be with you, Pete, always, and it's great to be here with everybody. And collectively, let's just do this. Let's have our whole happiness level raised, and whatever area, those 60 paraliminals that you've got access to, go for it.
Yeah. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. We'll see you again tomorrow with Patty Aubrey. And then remember, Friday with Paul Sheely. See ya. Bye.